Hi everybody, welcome to our Driven YouTube yoga class. So happy you're all here. Today's practice is going to be a full body practice, but with an emphasis on hips and lower back. Everyone's talking about aches and pains in their hips and their lower back, so we're going to try and take care of that today. Glad you're with me. Let's get started in a standing posture, just coming onto your mat, feet hip distance apart. Spread those toes. Stack your joints, roll your shoulders back a couple times, open your palms to the front. Let's just pause here as we always do at the start of our practice to become present. You can close your eyes or gaze down at the floor and just bring stillness into your body. Notice the soles of your feet on your mat. And just notice what you're bringing to your practice today. Notice any areas that might feel stiff. And notice also areas that are feeling good and ready to go. Bring your attention to your breath. Noticing the rhythm of the inhale and the exhale. And give yourself some kudos for showing up on your mat today. Good job. And then slowing down your breath, going into a deeper breathing, breathing down into your belly. And letting the exhale be long and slow. We'll try to maintain belly breathing throughout our practice. Do your best. And then let's add some movement right here. So let your head fall to one side. Bring your chin down to your chest. Let your head fall to the other side, and then all the way back. A couple of times in one direction. Nice and slow, moving with your breath. And then a few times in the opposite direction. One more time around. And then we'll start with a gentle flow just to warm up our body, bringing blood to all parts. Inhale, bring your arms up overhead. Let your head fall back, fingertips touch. And exhale, forward fold. Release your head and your neck. Bend your knees, come all the way up, arms up overhead. And float your arms down. So we'll do this a couple more times, but we'll add on each time. So inhale, bring your arms up overhead. This time reach back a little bit for a gentle back bend. Straighten your spine and exhale, forward bend. Inhale, halfway up. Weight is in the toes, spine is straight, chin is forward, and forward fold. Bend your knees, reverse swan dive, come all the way up, and float your arms down. Again, adding on some more. Inhale, bring your arms up overhead, reaching back. And exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway. Exhale, fold. Step your left foot back for a lunge. Let's just stay here for a breath or two, just to really get a nice stretch. Make sure that right knee is over the ankle. Hands can be on your mat. Drop your hips. Feel that nice stretch through the left leg. And then step that left foot forward. Reverse swan dive all the way up. And float those arms down. Let's continue. Inhale, arms up overhead, reaching back. And exhale, fold over. Inhale, halfway. Exhale, fold. Left foot back for that lunge, again. And then right foot back for a plank. You know what we're doing here. I'm sure it looks familiar to all of you. Just hold that plank for a couple of breaths, squeezing through your glutes, up on your toes, pushing the mat away from you, head in line with your spine. And on your exhale, push your hips back. Into down dog, pedal it out. Pause in down dog. hop forward or walk forward. Coming back into your forward bend, reverse swan dive, all the way up. And drop your hands to the side. Same thing, other side. Inhale, bring your arms up overhead. Reaching back and forward fold. Inhale, halfway. Exhale, fold. Hands on the mat. This time the right leg goes back and we'll hold it for a couple of breaths. So check your alignment here. Knee is over your ankle. Hands are on the mat. Drop your hips. Breathe. Feel that nice stretch on the right side. And then hands on your mat. Step your left foot back into plank. Nice strong plank here. Squeeze those glutes, kneecaps pulling up, shoulders pressing down. Couple breaths. Nice, everybody. Back into down dog. Pedal it out. And then pausing in down dog for just a breath or two. Push those hips up and back. Push your hands away from your feet. Drop your head. You should see your knees in down dog. Nice stretch through the hamstrings. And then bend your knees and walk forward or hop forward. All the way up. And bring your hands to heart center. One more time, all the way through on both sides. Inhale, bring your arms up overhead, reaching back. And exhale, fold. Inhale, halfway up. Exhale, fold. Hands on the mat, left leg back for a lunge. And then right foot back for plank. Press your hips back for down dog. Walk forward, forward bend, reverse swan dive all the way up. Float your arms down. Last time, other side. Inhale, bring your arms up overhead, reaching back. And forward fold. Inhale, halfway. Exhale, fold. Right foot back for a lunge. Left foot back for a plank. This time we're going to hold the plank a little bit longer. So beautiful alignment here. You can come up onto your toes a little bit more, less on the balls of your feet. Pull your kneecaps up, squeeze your glutes, pull your pelvic floor up. Shoulders back away from your ears. Let's hold here for 3 more breaths. You can do it. Nice long breathing. Tighten those glutes. Nice tight posture here. One more breath. Looking good. And then knees to your mat. Let's come into Embryo Pose, arms along the sides of your body, forehead resting on the mat or on a block or a book. And just exhale and release. Let go here. On your next inhale, bring your hands towards the top of your mat. Walk your fingertips forward. Stretch your spine. Push your tailbone back as you reach forward with your hands. Walk your hands over to the left. Stack your right hand over your left. Nice stretch through the side body. And then walk your hands back to center. And then over to the other side. Over to the right. Left hand over the right hand. Feel the stretch on the left side now. And walking your hands back to the center of your mat, come up into tabletop. Let's work through some cat and cows to just lengthen through the spine, release any tension there. Also good for the hips. So inhale, drop your belly into cow pose. Press your shoulders back, lift your chin. And exhale into cat pose. Chin at the chest. Hips pushing forward a little bit so you get that nice stretch through your lower back and pull your belly in. Inhale, back into cow pose. And exhale for cat. Couple more. And then we'll kind of work the side body here. So in a neutral tabletop pose, inhaling here, and then exhale, bring that left hip forward and look over your left shoulder. Take a peek at your hip. Working the obliques a little bit here. And then come back to center. Same thing on the other side. Right hip moves forward towards your shoulder. Look over that right shoulder. Take a peek at that hip. And come back to center. Let's do a couple of more. Great for the lower back. Great for the side body. So many muscles affect how we feel in our hips. Matter of fact, there are 17 muscles. One more time to each side. 17 muscles, so there's a lot we need to stretch and open up in order for our hips to feel better. All right, coming back to neutral tabletop. Tuck your toes, and let's move into down dog. Pushing your hips up and back. Try not to lock your knees. Relax your head. Enjoy that nice stretch through the hamstrings there. That feels so good. And then open up your feet the width of your mat. So down dog with legs apart. And from here, we're going to flow from down dog with legs apart into plank with legs apart. So inhale and shift forward, squeezing the glutes. And exhale, shift back. Inhale, shift forward. Exhale, shift back. 2 more times, moving slowly with your breath. Notice where you feel this the most. Everyone is different, so just be mindful of where you're feeling this movement. Always mindful in our yoga practice. So one more. And then finish up in down dog. Walk your feet back to hip distance apart. And on your next inhale, lift your left leg up behind you. Point your toes. See if you can have a straight line from your toes to the top of your head, and also try to keep that left hip in line with the right. So we're not raising the hip yet, just keeping everything nice and even. And then start drawing little circles in the air with your foot. So something like this. Trying to get movement in the hip socket. Don't forget to relax your neck. And just maybe 5 or 6 circles in one direction. And then in the opposite direction, try to keep that right foot nice and relaxed. And then pause. Bend that left knee. Twist at the waist so that you're bringing that left knee up towards the ceiling. Think about stacking your hips if you can. Push your hands away from your standing foot. See if you could peek under that left arm. Maybe you can. You can stay here for a couple breaths and enjoy that stretch through the groin. Or if you like, you can pivot on that right foot and come into wild thing, pushing your hips up, squeezing through your glutes, bringing that left arm all the way up and back. Stretching here. Nice, everybody. Flip back over. Let's just come into child's pose to rest those wrists. They get a little tight sometimes in down dog. So child's pose or embryo pose, whatever feels better for you, but do rotate through your wrists and open and close your fists a couple times to get that circulation back in there. A couple breaths right here. All right, let's do that same thing on the other side. So coming back into our down dog. Down dog is one of my favorite poses. So we'll just pause here for a minute. Just really enjoy the stretch. Pedal it out if you like, or move any way that feels good for you right now. And then when you're ready, lift your right foot up. Point the toe. Try to lift that leg nice and high. One straight line from your hands to the foot. You might find that this side is a little bit more flexible, or maybe it's tighter than the other side. That's really common to have different sensations on each side of the body. But reach that leg back, and then circles, like maybe the size of a basketball, one direction. Try to keep that left leg nice and relaxed as you're doing this. Drop the head, look at your knee, see if you can see that foot behind you. And then a couple times in the opposite direction. And then once again, bend that knee, lift it out to the side, then twist at the waist and bring that knee up towards the ceiling, stacking the hips, peeking under that right arm if you can. I wish I could see you guys, I bet you all look great. And then again, you can stay right here for a couple of breaths. Notice where you feel that stretch. Or if you like, you can flip over, pivoting on that left foot. Reaching back, squeezing through the glutes, maybe adding a little back bend here. Nice stretch through Wild Thing. And then flip back over. Ah, that felt good. Hope it felt good for you too. And then pausing just for a breath or two. And then walk forward or hop forward. Coming into your forward bend. Feet are hip distance apart, leaning into your toes. Bring your hands into your elbows. Chin to the chest. And melt here into ragdoll pose. Holding here for about 6 breaths. These longer holds are so much more effective in stretching the muscles and adding some flexibility. As a matter of fact, at the end of our practice, we'll do a really long hold, about 2 minutes. But for now, we'll just hold this couple more breaths. Relax the neck. Weight is still in the toes. If you need to bend your knees, feel free. And notice where you feel this. A lot of people feel it in their hamstrings. Tight hamstrings wreak havoc on our hips and our lower back, so good to stretch that out. One more breath, nice long breath here. And then release your hands to the mat. Toe heel your feet as wide as you can. Maybe wider than the mat, maybe about, 3-4 feet apart. Hands are on your mat. And turn your feet out a little bit, and let's just shift from side to side. Moving with the breath. Making sure, too, you're not leaning into the instep of your feet, so 4 corners of both feet are rooting down. Just flowing from side to side, noticing that nice stretch in the groin each time you come across. And then pausing in the middle. Toe heel your feet a little closer together. You might need to adjust this as we get into the pose. And then drop your hips. So for some of us, our hips can come all the way down towards the mat. For others of us, the hips down as far. Maybe they come down here. Let's go to where it feels good for you. Remember, nothing should hurt in yoga. If it is uncomfortable and you need a little bit more support, you can stack some blocks under your hips or books, maybe even a stool, whatever you need to get into the pose. So get into your version of the pose. And see if you could straighten your spine a little bit. Bring your hands to heart center and bring your elbows in between your knees. And pause here. on the four corners of each foot. Don't let anything hurt. If you're feeling this in your knees or somewhere else where it doesn't feel good, feel free to stack your hips up over blocks or maybe come out of the pose. And you can sit in simple pose or lotus pose, whatever feels good for you. Let's hold this for 3 more breaths. Inhale nice and deep. Nice long exhale. Try to relax your body into the pose. Notice what muscles you're not using, like the muscles in your face. Make sure they're nice and relaxed. We don't want to be exerting energy where we don't need it right now. 1 more breath. Nice job, you guys. Hands back onto your mat. Straighten your posture. Oh, that feels good. Walk your feet back to hip distance apart. Reverse swan dive and come all the way up. Stretch. Little back bend here. And hands to heart center. Just pausing here to come back into our practice. Maybe your mind wandered a little bit. Let's make sure we're all nice and present. Important part of your yoga practice. So just close your eyes. Feel the sensations in your body, maybe especially from that last pose. Notice if your breath is still slow and steady. And be mindful of yourself standing on your mat, wherever you are. 1 more breath. Awesome, everybody. Release your posture. Let's try a balancing posture as we age. Not that you guys are aging, but as some of us are aging, balancing can become a problem. So what we need to do before it becomes a problem is practice it every day. So let's do that now in our yoga practice, standing nice and tall. Root down through the feet, pull your kneecaps up, bellies in. So core strength is really important in balance. Shoulders back and down. Shift your weight to your left foot. And just bend your knee, bring it up in front of you. See how that feels. Maybe this is as far as you want to go in your balancing posture. And if this is just not the right pose for you, maybe you're feeling not very grounded today, you can just bring the toe to the floor for a little bit more support. Or you can even go over to the wall and hang on to the wall with one hand. But see how this goes. Bring your hands to heart center. And then cross your right ankle over your left thigh. And then press that knee down for figure 4 pose. So it's a balancing posture, but we're also getting a stretch through our hips, especially the right hip. Make sure you're tightening the quads, tighten your glutes, pull your belly in. So from here, option to bend that left knee to work on strengthening the quads, but also practicing the balance. Some people can go all the way down to the floor and come up on the balls of their feet. Go for it if that's part of your practice. If not, just go down as low as you can. Breathing and noticing. If you are all the way down on the balls of your foot, come back up. Straighten that left knee and release that right leg back and pivoting over on that left hip. And then bring your arms up overhead. So again, everyone's going to look different in this pose. Some people, their torsos are going to be parallel with the floor. Some people will be at an angle. Just go to what feels right for you. Push yourself a little bit to challenge your balance, to stretch your body. Always in this pose, we're trying to stretch in opposite directions. So lengthening through the spine. Come back up. Release your posture, shake it out. Nice job on that, you guys. And let's do the same thing on the other side. So starting out in a nice, strong standing posture. It's really important in balancing postures to set yourself up so that you're present, you're engaging, you're strong in your body. Shift your weight to your right side. And then cross your left ankle over your right thigh. Ankle is flexed. Still rooting down in the 4 corners of that right foot. Notice how you're doing maybe you're not as grounded on this side, maybe you feel more solid. Hands to heart center. And then bend your knee, coming as low to the ground as it feels good for you. Try to keep your hips parallel with the floor. Maybe you're going all the way down onto the ball of your foot. Go for it. Or maybe you're halfway down. Everyone has their own version of every pose. And then bring your arms up overhead. Release that left foot and lean forward, pivoting now on that right hip. Reaching out in opposite directions. Think long in this pose. Hold it for a couple more breaths. You might notice that on one side you're more flexible. Again, that always happens. Just depends on our lifestyle and how we move in our body. Release your posture and shake it out. Nice job, you guys. Coming back to our standing posture. Inhale, bring your arms up overhead. And exhale, fold. Inhale, halfway. And exhale, fold. Left leg back for a lunge. Right leg back for plank. Tighten up through your glutes. Inhale, shift your weight forward. Exhale, bend your elbows and lower yourself down to your mat. Inhale, come up into cobra. Shoulders are pressing down your back. Chin is lifted. Tuck your toes. Exhale, down dog. Inhale that right leg up and come forward now into your lunge. Holding here. Step your foot back into plank pose. Shift your weight forward. And exhale, lower down, use control. Inhale, cobra. And exhale, release. Extend your arms off the top of your mat and just lower your chin closer to your mat. Inhale here. And as you exhale, lift your left arm up and your right leg back and just stretch in opposite directions. Inhale, relax. And exhale, other side. So lifting the right arm and the left leg nice and high. And relax. We're going to go side to side with our breath. So inhale when your limbs are down. Exhale as you lift. And lift other side. Couple more times on each side. Notice the stretch in the quads. And then for this last time, we're going to hold all four limbs up at the same time. So inhale when everything is relaxed. Exhale, lift, not just lifting, but stretching in opposite directions. Keep looking down at your mat. And release. A couple more times there. Exhale, lift. Inhale, lower. One more time. And lower. Nice job, everybody. Come into tabletop. Cross at your ankles. And just shift your weight back. Come all the way back onto your mat. Bring your arms into a T shape. Separate your feet the width of your mat. Arms, palms facing up. Relax your upper body. If your shoulder blades are are pressing down into the mat, just tuck them in a little bit. And then let your knees float from side to side. This is my favorite movement. Feels so good. As your knees are coming across, it feels good to add a little bit of a pelvic tilt, and that way you get a nice massage of your lower back. One more time to each side. Maybe in these last couple of ones, just letting the knees fall all the way to the mat. If they get there, they might not, that's okay too. And then bring both knees into your chest, give yourself a nice hug. Tell yourself, good job for just even being here today. Pull the left knee in, extend the left leg out, and then let's lever that left leg up and down, nice and slowly with the breath. Inhaling as the leg is coming down, and exhaling as it's lifting up. One more time. This is not a common movement that we do in our daily life, so this is important to add to any fitness modality we're using. Switch legs. The hips love the femur moving in the hip socket. So I do this while I'm watching TV at night. Just trying to move through the hips and the lower back especially. Also keeps me from snacking while watching TV if I'm doing something else, right? 2 more. And then pull that left knee in. And then raise both legs up to the ceiling. Try to keep straight knees. Don't lock them though. Push the heels up towards the ceiling and the toes down towards you. Relax your shoulders and your neck. Do pull your belly in though, because we're going to add some movement to this, and we're going to need some core strength. If this is really hard for you, you can grab a strap or a tie or a belt or something as a prop to help you. So tailbone is down, knees are straight if you can, heels are pushing up, arms are out to the side. Glue your ankles and your knees and your inner thighs together. Press them into each other really tight. Deep breath in here. And then as you exhale, let the legs fall to the left, maybe about 45 degrees, coming onto the left hip. Try to keep that right shoulder on your mat. Engage the muscles of the core, especially the obliques on the right side of your body. Keep pressing those legs in towards each other. It's easy to forget about doing that, so keep pressing those legs in. Find your breath. If you find that you're leaning into your left arm a lot, you can cross it over your right shoulder for even more of a challenge. You can cross both arms over your shoulder, and then you really feel those obliques pop in a good way, not in a bad way. So you might find that your legs are trembling here. That's a good thing. Keep it going. One more breath. And then come back to center. Give yourself a hug. Tell yourself, good job on that. And then we get to do it on the other side. So once again, straighten the legs. So some people prefer to do this with knees bent. You can do that too. Same pose, but a little bit easier. So if the straight legs was really hard, that's a nice modification. So either way, heels are pushing up though, arms out to a T, palms up, shoulders, upper body stays out of this pose. Don't let it get involved. It wants to, but keep it out. Deep breath, and exhale. Let the legs fall to the right, up on that right hip. Left hip is up off the mat. Come down as far as you can. Some of you are going to need to go closer to the ground in order to feel it in your side body. Keep your belly pulling in. And again, if you feel like you're relying on that right arm here, cross it over your chest. Challenge yourself by bringing your left hand over your chest, almost like a balancing posture, but balancing on your hip. Relaxing the neck and the shoulders. Breathe. Smile. It's all good. And bring those legs back to center. Nice job, everybody. Pull the knees into your shoulders and rock from side to side. Bring your feet back to the floor. Extend your legs on your mat. Stretch your body in opposite directions like you're just waking up in the morning. And then exhale, bring your knees to your chest. Lift your head, neck, and shoulders. Wrap your arms around your shins. Tuck your chin into your chest and rock from side to side. Oh, nice back massage here. Enjoy that. Then pausing in the middle, roll up to a seated position. We're going to finish our practice before we get into Shavasana with a long hold pose. These long hold poses are really important for stretching the muscles in a way that is longer lasting and brings about a real magnificent change in how you're feeling, in this case, in your lower back and hips. We're going to come into butterfly pose, but because we're going to hold it for a longer amount of time, and by longer I mean 2 minutes, feel free to keep your heels a little further away from your groin. Normally we try to pull it in, but this time bring your feet out a little bit more, maybe 2 or 3 fists lengths away. I have a timer to keep us honest. All right, so nice strong posture here. I'm going to start the timer now. And then walk your hands away from your body. So place them on the mat as much as you can. Try to keep your spine straight, but walk your hands as far away from your feet as you can. Take a deep breath in, straight arms, but as you exhale, release your head. And breathe. The thing about these long holds is we want to relax into them. So think about a wet noodle. Relax the muscles of the inner thigh. Relax the neck. Let the knees float closer to the mat. And one way to turn off what we call the stretch reflex, that tension that we get when we're doing a deep stretch, is to use your breath. A common breath model in long holds is the 4-8 breath. So inhaling through the count of 4, you have 1 minute left. Exhaling through the count of 8. Really trying to just relax the central nervous system and let gravity do the work in this pose. So nice and relaxed. We're just a bunch of wet noodles on our mat. If this pose is uncomfortable for you, you can also always prop up your hips on a couple of blocks or a book. 15 more seconds. So that went fairly quickly. Maybe not to some of you. Two more breaths right here, nice and long. All right, everybody, you did it. That was 2 minutes. Come out of your pose, straighten your legs. So in long hold poses, 2 minutes is the minimum. We go into 5 minutes sometimes. So homework for you is if you have tight hips and a tight lower back, do that pose every day for at least 2 minutes. If it feels like you can go longer, go 3, 4, 5 minutes. Use a timer to keep yourself honest. You'll really see a big difference in how you feel in your lower back and hips. And there are other poses too. I just chose butterfly pose because I like that one. All right, come down onto your mat. Just move in a way that feels good. We're gonna get into Shavasana. So maybe roll from side to side, especially after that long hold butterfly pose. Straighten your legs in the mat. Come into your favorite version of Shavasana. Some people do it differently, whatever feels right for you. Let's start with 2 cleansing breaths here. Inhale through your nose. Nice long exhale through an open mouth. One more time. Inhale. Nice long exhale. Let it go. And then just go back to a breath that's relaxing to you. Soften the muscles around your eyes. Relax your jaw. Let the whole weight of your body just sink into your mat. And try to keep your focus on your breath. Notice especially that little part right under your nostrils. And feel the sensation right there as the breath moves in and the breath moves out. Maybe you feel that strong or maybe not at all. But just notice the difference between breathing in and breathing out. We have that focal point in Shavasana especially because we want to try to not think about other things off our mat. Just trying to let go. We'll be here for about 10 more breaths. Staying present. A couple more breaths right here. And after this breath, start bringing movement back into your body, fingers, toes, roll your head, bend your knees. Just move your body in a way that feels good. And then roll over onto your side. Help yourself up into any comfortable seated position. Just having gratitude for our time together today. Bring your hands to heart center. The light in me salutes the light in each and every one of you. Namaste. All right, everybody. Thank you so much for joining me. Hope you're all doing well, that you're healthy. Wash your hands, wear your masks, do everything you can. Exercise, eat well. Hope to see you again next time. Make sure you are subscribed to the Driven YouTube channel so you don't miss a beat. I look forward to seeing you next time. Thanks, everybody.